Hey y'all, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's your girl, Dr. Nina, and most of my OGs over here know I'm a proud, plentiful hair producing woman. But back in the day, I wasn't always so proud of it. In fact, because I could grow hair anywhere thick and fast, especially on this face, baby, especially these brows. And my mama wouldn't let me do anything about it. She loved her some Brooke Shields. I told y'all that before, that model that had those big, gorgeous eyebrows. And when my mother found out that I could grow thick hair like that, especially on these brows, she wouldn't let me let none of that go. But baby, one day I went away to a land far, far away called college, okay? And what happened there was an atrocity because I went to tweezing, plucking, and scissoring them things out my face until there was nothing left. And I mean nothing. It was not a hot look. So over the years, I had to learn to be much better to my brows. And in return, they've been much better to me. So today I'm going to teach you the things that I've done and continue to do that have helped me to grow my brows thicker and fuller much faster. And these are not over the top. They're simple, simplistic, and cheap ingredients that really help me to do much better by my eyebrows. I also want to hear from you. What are some of the fashion faux pas or the trends you got into when it came to your eyebrows? Did you go paper thin? Did you cut the things all the way off and just draw them on? What were some of the things you wish you had or had not done? And what are some of the things that you have done over the years that have helped them as well? Now, I urge you, if you feel that your hair loss could be due to a medical condition, get in to see your doctor. Any items I mentioned today will be found down below in the description box. Now let's get into the video. Now, in order for me to solve any problem, it's important to me to figure out where the root cause of the issue could be coming from. And for me, I learned that hair loss across the body, more specifically my brows too, probably were falling out because I had high levels of stress and anxiety. There's some other things that fit in here. So cortisol levels, the stress hormone, when it's high, it could cause hair loss. Things like dermatitis, eczema, and psoriasis, anemia, considering our thyroid function, deficiencies in iron, vitamin D, zinc, and biotin, all those harsh chemicals on our face. Overplucking can also cause damage to the hair follicles, making those weaker so that the hair doesn't grow in like it normally does. My issues in particular were stress, high anxiety, eczema, vitamin D deficiency, and I had to figure out how to get that under control. Now let's get into these grooming issues because they were an issue. Baby, me and the brow razor needed to step away from one another. Y'all know those brow razors, the raggedy ones, not the good ones, the ones that had the little razor on the end that you literally had to fight to actually cut the hair. Now I was fighting and I was cutting a lot of hair off. So much so my friends was like, girl, you ain't even got no brows. It got real bad. And in fact, it got so bad that when the hair would grow in, it would look awkward. So I would tweeze and pluck that out. So it was absolutely nothing there. I'm talking about bald-headed brows. So then I stepped into a salon one day because I decided I wanted to do something about it. And a wonderful lady sat me down and she said, girl, you too pretty to have your brows looking like that. Now, oh, that hurt, okay? But I learned something because she would have me come in once every month. She told me only one time a month to wax my brows. She would make sure that she waxed and she combined that with some tweezing because I can get a little bit of a unibrow, y'all. So she really kept that nice and well kept. Then over the years I moved into threading, and threading was good for me and I actually liked it. It was painful at first, but I actually liked it, and I liked how it left my brows, and how clean it had them. But then y'all know what happened. The vid stepped in, and I couldn't imagine anyone, mask or no mask, standing over my face to thread my brows, okay? So I had to do some research and learn how to take care of them on my own and keep them groomed. And all I really needed was a nice tweezing kit, a tweezer, some good tweezers, some nice precise scissors, as well as any other little tools that would help me to only take care of those stray hairs, not necessarily overshaping my brows because they look the best naturally. I take my time with my brows now, and anytime I'm going to work with them, I comb them upward so that I can see what I'm actually working with, if there's any sparse areas or missing areas. And I do not deal with my brows until after I've taken a good good shower and thoroughly cleaned my skin. What this does is it seems to relax the follicles, so my hair is more apt to be groomed well, nicely, and I'm not fighting with my face. Skin also tends to be softer and more delicate right after you've showered. And what I find is the result is the brow hairs slide out with minimal effort, so I'm not fighting with them. I also love my Perfect Finish trimmer, and y'all often ask me about this thing, and I'm gonna tell y'all, this little purple thing is amazing. So I showed it to y'all probably the first time like 5 or 6 years ago, but that thing does everything from your bikini line. Now I own two, because I'm gonna use one in the bikini area and not on my face, but then it has different detachable heads on it. So even one of those heads is good for being able to clean up the brows and even trim them down nicely if you would like. I sometimes use my dermaplaning tool as well, because if I'm going to use it to run over the rest of my face and my facial hair, it's easier to get to that area as well. But I tend not to go at my brows with razors too much, because I'm only using those items in order to clean them. I do this about twice a month, very lightly, and I might do a little bit of plucking in between if I see some hairs, because they do grow in, but I find that my eyebrows thrive the most with this. Now, all the kits and the things that I use, I've linked for you down below. I had to get into it with my skincare products and stop over exfoliating and over harassing my face, okay? I would overdo it a lot, y'all. And I don't know if you can relate, but there were times where I would get up from washing my face and I would see eyebrows and eyelashes right there in the sink because I was over scrubbing. And what I found is I would look and I would see sparse areas on my face because I was literally pulling the hairs out of my face. I learned that I couldn't wash my body and my face with the same force. And now I make it a point to be mindful of how gently or how harshly I'm touching my face. Like if I'm angry or something like that, I don't need to be washing my face right then because I'm literally gonna pull every hair out. But while I'm saying that I reduce my scrubbing, I also learned the importance of exfoliating. So I would lightly exfoliate that area maybe once a month. And that was only with a light, gentle exfoliator. Now I exfoliate my face more than that in a month. So I just try to avoid those areas in order to avoid, over scrubbing. However, what I found was removing that dry, dead skin or letting that slough off allowed my skin to breathe and those follicles to breathe. And it also helped me to get away from getting ingrowns around my eyebrows as well. Now, when I'm done doing any facial exfoliation, I try to follow in that area specifically with a little bit of castor oil or Jamaican black castor oil. What I find is that it's a good protectant. I never say that it's just something to help your brows grow, but what I think it does is it protects them in order for them to grow more and feel more conditioned. So therefore they seem to grow better. I've been using my castor oil too with spoolie that I got from Amazon and I absolutely love it. And I can fill it with whatever castor oil I like. And with that said, I'm also very sensitive about any hair care products that touch that area even for a brief amount of time. Now, when it's hair conditioners and things like that, I'm usually okay with it, but harsh drying like shampoos and other products, I do not allow them to sit on my brows because they will pull them out. So overall, I try to avoid anything that can be super drying to my eyebrows and eyelashes and pull them out. Speaking of drying, I try to make sure that I remember to moisturize the skin specifically under the brows. Anytime anything on your skin gets dry, it gets itchy and flaky. And if it starts to get itchy and flaky, you're gonna go at it and you're gonna pull the hairs out. So you wanna watch that. I try to make sure I dab just a little bit of moisturizer there and smooth that in a circular motion to kind of bring some blood to that area and produce a little bit of growth. And what I find too is that I have less products sticking to my brows, which can also weigh them down and cause them to come out. So instead of that, they're moisturized, especially on days where I'm not gonna wear makeup or anything like that. They're just moisturized and they're taking that in, so they're being conditioned. I've had to learn to become much more careful about my makeup routine and my products. Now, y'all know over the years, I've learned to become much more careful about the amount of makeup I put on my face for many reasons, okay? But what I've also learned is that my skin is super sensitive. And I've also found that when I was putting certain products on my brows, especially, if I had to scrub it off at the end of the night, my eyebrows was good as gone. And I know y'all can relate. Some of these items that you have to put on and they don't come off super simple no matter what you use, you end up having to scrub it off and the hairs get lost. So I try to watch the ingredients in the makeup that I use. Anything that is prone to scrubbing or super sticky or is not water soluble is going to be harder for me to get it off my skin. And in turn, I'm going to end up losing hairs. And I'm getting older too. I can't play around with that. So now I don't use much to fill in my brows, especially. I use some brow gel. So I like the brow glue by NYX. I like the brow gel by e.l.f. as well as by MAC. And there's a few others that are really good out there. I think Beverly Hills Anastasia Beverly Hills, one of them. But I will link them all down below for you. But I find that these work well, as well as the Benefits brow pencil in 5 is what I use. And it tends to work so well. It gives me flawless, a little coverage in any sparse areas, but also I don't have to feel like I'm over filling my brows. It actually just gives a little flick to the area, enlightens it a little bit, helps it look a little bit fuller without you having to go to town with coloring, because that's going to pull away at the brows. It's important for me to do some form of a brow mask almost weekly. And this doesn't have to be super over the top, just conditioner, like regular old conditioner. Whatever you got going on, it seems to work really well for me when I've tried it. So I like the Dove Intensive Repair Conditioner. That one just seems to work really well with my brows. And I try to stay away from things that are too overly scented because I know those are going to mess with my sensitive skin. But literally all I do is place it on, allow it to sit for a few minutes, or while I'm conditioning my hair, allowing it to sit thin, and then removing it as normal. What I find with it is it just helps that area feel richer and fuller. And especially when my brows are doing the flipping thing, like if you got those super curly brows like I do, they flip all over the place, don't seem to be going in the same direction. This tends to be a good trick with helping them to lay down and relax a bit. I also love, if I'm doing a deeper mask, aloe vera, especially straight from the plant if you can get it, but whatever aloe vera, it will really help to moisturize that area. And I find that it helps to soothe. If your skin is not calm underneath, it helps to soothe that area for me as well. So that's a thought. Also, regular old organic castor oil works for this as well. It's full of vitamin E and omega fatty acids, which are good for protecting the hair. But I just find that it helps to protect them because it's thick and rich. So it helps my brows to thrive. I also found that they didn't shed as much. So that might be something you give a shot. Vitamins and my eating habits have really shaped my brows and my overall hair growth, hands down. Now, there are multiple studies out there that support that certain vitamin deficiencies, nutrients missing, and foods that we intake can stop or slow down those hair growth cycles. So some of those vitamin deficiencies include vitamin A, C, D, biotin, omega fats, iron, and even zinc. I, after checking with my doctor, definitely supplement with a multivitamin daily, in fact, a prenatal vitamin. I make sure that my diet is full of green leafy vegetables, which are said to help to promote hair growth cycles. And I also get my fatty acids through a lot of those green leafy vegetables and spinach, but also my salmon and fish that I intake. This really helps my hair to grow back to its full bushy brow beautifulness. And let me remind you, if you're having severe problems, it's definitely time to do some research on dermatologists and other topical things that might be able to help your hair grow. And finding out the vitamin deficiencies that you might have, like I did, for me specifically, it was vitamin D, that totally changed the game. And there's a lot of top ranked serums out there. There are some that I love myself, like Grand Lash and Grand Brow. I've used those for years. Facts, check my videos. But also I have a link down below to some of the top ones out there that you might want to check out for yourself. So I hope y'all have enjoyed today's video and learned a thing or two about things that you can do to help with your eyebrows. And if you are having difficulty with your eyebrows, honey, know that you are still beautiful and gorgeous. Try everything that you can, that you would like to, that fits in within your lifestyle. It doesn't have to be over the top, and it doesn't have to be something that you feel is just taking it too far. I have had problems with my brows in the past, and I do wish I had never done the things that I've done to my brows, but thank God they were able to recover. So make sure that you comment, share this video with someone who can use it, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Beautiful brown baby doll. Peace.